Yo, what's up? It's Spirit-Led TV, aiming for life change and peace. We are in our meditation 40 days, 40 nights series. Now, before we get into the video, I would like for you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the notification, and click the bell, ding, so you can be notified when we drop these hot videos, these hot encouragement tracks. So today we're talking about patience, and patience is one thing that we like to receive, but we don't necessarily like to give in a lot of ways. And I notice that with myself sometimes. You know, it's like we get so accustomed to things being our way, or ordering fast, like the Amazon Prime, you get it in 2 days, or if you go to the grocery store, you go to self-checkout because you can go at your own pace, which is not a bad thing sometimes, but sometimes we just lack the quality of patience. And so today we're going to look at Proverbs 16:32. And it reads, "Better to be patient than powerful, better to have self-control than to conquer a city." And there's three things that I really want to talk about in this video, all right? So we're going to get into the point. The first point is, will I be patient? In this scripture, it talks about being patient is better than being powerful. Now, it's not overlooking the fact that being powerful isn't a key element in our lives, but it's saying that being patient overrides being powerful. One of the things that I just kind of envision is our own strength and how we want to do things in our own way, in our own power, in our own might, and sometimes can miss the fact of crafting patience. Patience is a virtue. That's very cliche, but it definitely is, because if we can grow in patience, then we can grow in waiting on God. And I believe that in our lives, and in mine, I'll just say that I can be impatient in a season where I need to be patient, where it's detrimental to my growth. And kind of like with the flowers in the fields, like they have to be patient on water, they have to be patient on the sun, and they produce, you know what I mean? And even in the midst of being patient, we can still produce. And so being patient is definitely important in our lives as a believer, because we learn to grow stronger in areas that we might be weak in. So patience, will I be patient, is definitely a key. And also, to add to that, when we grow in patience, we are growing in our obedience to God, pursuing Him instead of our own desire, really striving and waiting on Him. All right, so the second point is, will I have self-control? Now, the verse kind of like parallels it to taking over a city. And self-control is one of those fruits of the Spirit. And why Jesus talks about this is most likely because we are to die to self. You know what I mean? We're to die to self, not necessarily control self. When we die to self, we are dying to bad habits. We're dying to toxic things in our lives. We're dying to addictions. We're dying to unhealthy relationships. We're dying to how we live. That is a fleshly desire. And so self-control is important, because God isn't telling this for His benefit. He's telling us because of our benefit. If we have self-control and we practice that, then we're able to actually save ourselves from a lot of mischief that we will probably get into if we didn't have self-control. We probably allow in our eye gates and our ear gates, because it's important to our growth. It's important to our development as a person, as a believer. Having self-control strengthens us in following God. You know what I mean? It strengthens us in being obedient and listening to God. And self-control is one of those aspects where it's right in line with patience. We have to be waiting, persevere. We have to persevere through some things. And it's not necessarily easy to do. You know, it's really easy to say, like, man, I'm gonna have self-control today. But if we really count the number of times we lack self-control, it would probably shock us. And so it's always a striving point to have self-control, to do better in having self-control. And I believe when we strive for that, we're able to walk in who we need to be rather than what we are craving. So the last point I have is, will I trust? And this one it really hits home, because it's like we wait on the things or people we really trust. And I think to myself, like, okay, God, if I really trust you, will I wait for you? If I really trust you, will I practice self-control? If I really trust you, will I grow stronger in this area to be more obedient to you? You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where you don't necessarily, you try not to get down on yourself about, because we are all imperfect. We are all striving. Hopefully we're striving to be better us, a better believer, a better, friend, family member, whatever have you. That does not mean that we're going to fall sometimes. What this means is that we're always looking and we're always trying to better ourselves. Now, trusting, to me personally, is one of the elements that in my journey, I've kind of like lost the hope of giving trust to people. And God continues to show me that people are not all the same, that you can trust certain people. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that God puts in your circle for a reason. And I believe in edifying. I believe in healthy growth. I believe in healthy relationships. However, it doesn't take away from the fact that trust was lost once at a time. And so I'm developing and continue to develop trust with people around me. What am I saying? I'm saying that our trust in God, you can rest in that, because He's not going to forsake you. Like, He wants the best for us, even when we don't see it. He wants the best for us, even if we may not want the best for us at the time, when we think we know what's best for us, but we really don't have no idea. And so we try to make these decisions based off of what works best for me. You know what I mean? What's wise in this situation? Sometimes we don't even use wisdom, and that's a whole different ballgame. But we should be allowing God to flow in our lives and allowing God to lead our lives, because once He does, and once we allow Him to move, then we can develop that trust, we can develop patience, and we can develop self-control, because we can have peace in knowing that He knows what's best for us rather than ourselves. So will I have patience? Will I have self-control? Will I have trust? The more that I lean on God and trust in Him fulfilling what feels like an emptiness in my heart, is the more that I'd grow. You know what I mean? The more that I can allow Him to come in and allow the unhealthy things to flow out. So if you're wrestling with something right now where seems like a void, and you're constantly filling it with these temporary pleasures, or these temporary people, or temporary device, whatever, implement God and His trust in our hearts and His love in our hearts, because once we do that, that allows the unhealthy and toxic stuff to leave and get out, so we can be free from that. And I know that's not what you want to hear in this rap, but hey, yo, what's up? Thank y'all for tuning in today. Hope you liked and hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we drop these hot videos. Like, share, comment with everybody you know, your friends, your family. You know what I mean. I create to live. We out, baby. Peace.